Um, then I realized that the suspects get younger and faster and stronger, and I got older, slower, and weaker. And getting shot at sucks. Looks way cooler on television.
My name's Jimmy Talbert. I'm joined by my friend Dom Faussett.
What's up, brother? How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Dom, you have an interesting background, and your business, for me, is very fascinating. And so, do you mind starting by just telling me a little bit about your background? It's led you to the business that you have now, and we'll take it from there.
Totally. Yeah, so high-level overview, starting from the beginning. Prior military, Air Force K-9, and once I got out of the military, I got into law enforcement. The only job I could find where I could carry a gun and potentially use it. So law enforcement was it. Then I realized that the suspects get younger and faster and stronger, and I got older, slower, and weaker. And getting shot at sucks. Looks way cooler on television. And I had the opportunity to jump into the mortgage sales space, which I did. I left the state that I was in, not the mental state because I'm still there, but I was in Mississippi, and I jumped over to Arizona, got into mortgage sales. It was booming business at that time. And then I really liked the ability to sit down, make some phone calls, not go to weird people's houses. Like, that was fun to me. And I got good at what I was doing. And then I got into the leadership space, and I just would promote from one company to the next. And I started doing videos. I started doing videos on Instagram. I started doing leadership videos. I do 60-second videos on Instagram. And they, believe it or not, started to like them. And I would involve my kid every now and then, my wife, and they got to know me, which in turn let them get comfortable with me. And then I got comfortable with them and had some great teams doing this. And then I wrote a book. My team encouraged me to write a book, so I wrote a book and started a podcast. And long story short, started coaching, got paid to speak, and I was like, this is a business. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry. I'm going to get my piece of the pie. And my mantra or mission for self is change one life every day for the rest of my life. And I do that with platforms such as this and obviously stage.
Awesome. And so, yeah, with you, that is one heck of a progression.
It's a journey. Definitely a journey.
Sure. So with your business, talk to me a little bit about kind of what who do you guys target? Who do you work with? What's sort of your normal client?
Think, React, Lead. You don't know. I'm telling you this. Think, React, Lead is the name of my company. And Think, React, Lead is a mantra that I lived by in the military. Think as an executive, react like a soldier, and lead. Decision making is something that I've always had the ability to do that, and that stemmed from as a cop you serve warrants, or as a cop one would serve warrants, unless of course you were a cop before, and I don't know.
No.
Okay, fair enough. And sometimes the intel is there's three people inside the house. Three people. I'm thinking I got this. Kick in the door, you do your thing. But sometimes you kick in the door, there's not three people in there. There's six. You don't have the luxury of saying, pause. I'll be right back. You guys leave all the paraphernalia out, the gun. You guys just don't move. I'm gonna come back with some folks, but you gotta make a decision in that moment, right? And this is where training comes into play. And I thought that everybody had the ability to make a decision without having an emotional reaction or response to it, or the inability to make one because of emotions. So I started coaching executives, and I realized it was an industry. And so now it's just me. You said we, and I don't know if you speak French, but I coach people towards command presence, right? I take executives that want to promote, and there's that gap between the mind and their heart. We bridge that gap. And when I say we, myself and the client, I go take them through this habit finder assessment. We go through the assessment, and we take them through a 6-month process. That's one aspect of the business. So we're talking like, streams of income, right?
Mm-hmm.
Speaking is another one. Radio is another one. I do social media coaching for coaches and speakers because most people my age and above suck at social media. I learned early on in business that nothing is free, right? Intellectual property is a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just really getting people to get dialed in on who they are from a standpoint of what do I do next?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I'm at. I jumped into this 2.5 years ago, so about to hit my third year, and between the radio show, the podcast, traveling, and like I'll be gone tomorrow. I'll be in Florida tomorrow. Staying dialed in on my time, staying dialed in on my message.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. Very cool. And so with all that, do you have different with your clients with what you offer to them,
Mm-hmm.
right? You offer all these different types of coaching.
Right.
Is it one person where you're coaching them on all the stuff, or is it usually someone who's coming to you with a specific?
In the last 3 weeks, I've had one client sign up for everything, but typically it's one of the three. So there's speaker coaching, and that's just coaching somebody on how to speak on stage, how to sell towards the end, how to tell a story, when to tell a story, how to start an introduction. Right? Most speakers, this is what happens. You'll introduce, hey, welcome to the stage, Dom Faussett. That's a different stage. Let me use a different voice. Welcome to the stage, Dom Faussett. And I'll come to you know where I was going with that. And I'll come to the stage, and then as a speaker, I'll say, hey, everybody, I'm Dom Faussett. Well, no, that's not how you do that, right?
Right.
It's more, they know who you are. And if they forgot, then just be so good that they Google you. Right?
Sure.
So you start with the story, and then there's the business of speaking. That's a whole nother avenue, right? Because I had to put on another hat to even go through that module. And then social media, that will usually take 6 months, because guys like us, we know a lot. You would blow my mind right now based off what you know. So I've learned in my experience that I can't dump all that I know about social media on somebody in 3 45-minute phone calls.
Sure.
What's going to happen? They're not going to do anything with it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So I gradually provide them information, check on them, and then we engage like that.
And usually building a social following isn't an overnight
They think it
thing,
is.
right?
No, it is not. I left corporate America with 2,000 followers on my Instagram and like 200 people on my Facebook and maybe 500 in my LinkedIn. And now I don't track of the numbers now, but it's obviously grown.
I hope so, if you're coaching people on that.
Yes. I can get you to 3,000 followers in 8 months.
That's really cool. So when you're coming back to talking about speaking in front of people and presenting, that's something that a lot of people have seemed to struggle with.
Oh, yeah.
I know that a lot of our clients here in the studio, that's something they're real nervous about, is getting on camera or
Right.
they don't like the sound of their own voice.
Correct.
Basically. So what would you, I guess, what are are there some
Tactics.
maybe 3 tips, tactics, techniques that you'd
People
recommend?
ask, how do you get better at speaking? My primary response, do a video a day. Do a video. If you do a video, that's how I got started, right? I don't preach or coach anything that I've never done. If you do a video a day, what that does, and just use a front face of Instagram. 60 seconds is all you have. And what I learned as I was doing my videos, after about the 50th video, my body would know what a minute felt like. And then I learned how to do a video. So the way I teach clients to do it is, I'll just do it. Welcome to Think, React, Lead. This is Dom Faussett, executive coach and leadership speaker. Hey, welcome to Think, React, Lead. This is Dom Faussett, executive coach. Yeah, there we are. I got to get in that, the video mode.
I understand.
Hey, welcome to Think, React, Lead. Dom Faussett, executive coach and leadership speaker. Today we're going to talk about A, B, and C.
Yep.
What I learned about A is this. What I learned about B is this. What I learned about C is this. What are you going to do to implement B into your life? Put it in your comments below. Again, I'm Dom Faussett, executive coach and leadership speaker. I was at a MotoGP 2 years ago, and this guy from Mexico, there's 500 Ducatis. Like, there's motorcycles everywhere. And my wife and I both ride Ducatis, and our bikes kind of stand out. Because we wrapped them, he says, hey, you're Dom Faussett, executive coach and leadership speaker. And then it clicked. My coach told me to do that. People don't really listen. They might watch your video, but they don't listen.
Right.
So in order for them to retain information, you have to say the same thing at the same cadence all the time. And then when you're introduced, so what do? Well, I'm an executive coach and leadership speaker. You're able to say it confidently, and then you stop talking, right? And you know what 60 seconds feels like. And when I got to Fox, not that I worked there, but I was interviewed on Fox, and people think when you go into a major studio that everybody's nice and friendly, And yes, we're just going to sit down. No, it goes just like this. Hey, you're up next. Lav mic. Boom. Sit down. Lady across from you. Oh, I see. Don Faussett? No, Don Faussett. Okay. What do you want to talk about? I'm a leadership. Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey, welcome to Fox News. This is Tiffany Saunders, and we have Don Faussett here with reacting, thinking, and leading. Like that's like they mess up, but you cannot not smile.
Right.
You have to learn how to correct them without correcting them. And people think speaker coaching like just stage. No, speaking is really how you interview, right? It's normal engagement, getting comfortable with your voice, how you talk to your spouse. Yes, speaking on stage is a thing, and there's a way you speak on podcasts, there's a way you speak on radio, there's a way you speak on TV, right? Understanding when to shut up, right? There's just so much that goes into it. It's not just, I'm going to get on stage. I wish it was that easy. I'm glad it's not, though.
Okay, so to sum that up, then it's knowing your what you're doing, where you're doing it, and then I guess keep it
moving, keep it simple.
Yeah,
think about
just
it like
you
this.
did for me right there.
Right, you just right. Radio, no dead air.
Right.
Think of it like this: when you're talking to an audience, if a fourth grader can understand it, a 40-year-old will buy it.
That makes sense.
It does.
That makes sense.
Most people, they think people care about the numbers and the stat. Unless you're at a tech conference where you're not there to sell, you're just there to provide insight. And even then, you got to kind of moderate that. But if you're on stage, you should be speaking to sell.
Absolutely. You're selling them on their time to sit there and listen to you, right?
And entertain them.
And one thing that I learned that is ringing true with what you're saying a long time ago is people don't necessarily know or care what you're saying. It's how you made them feel. That's what they'll remember, and that's what they'll what will resonate with them long term.
Right. So. And it works on stage. It works in relationships. I mean, obviously, both of us are married. I don't remember what my first conversation was with my wife. I know how she made me feel, but I don't remember the conversation.
Right.
I'm not going to tell her it's not important, but it's not important. Right. And it's another rule of thumb is you want to make them smile, laugh, and think. And that, not just once, but that's the cadence. Yeah. Make them smile, laugh, and think. Make them smile, laugh,
the rhythm.
Think. Make them right. And here's a trick. Watch stand-up comedians. Because if you think about it, a stand-up comedian gets on stage, he or she, and the audience is there to laugh. But what do? You're not going to make me laugh. So he or she had about 10 to 15 seconds just to get them to, he or she might be funny, to open up. As a speaker, it's the exact same. You got to tell a quick story.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. And make them not feel like they're being sold.
Well, you think about it, the best speeches you've ever heard, you think, there was times where I was ready to cry, and there's times where I was chuckling, and then there's things that you took away, things you remember.
So true. So true.
Yeah, the entertainment value always has to be there.
Speaking is 80% entertainment, 20% education.
And I've never heard that before, but that's absolutely true in my experience, anyways.
Because look at the speakers that you don't like. Not that you don't like. Have you ever seen a speaker? You're in the audience and you're so embarrassed for them, and you're just like, he's only 5 minutes in of a 30-minute talk. And you see them struggling. That it takes reps to get to the point of being able to orate and shift with your audience. I told you when we were off air that I don't use a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't use a PowerPoint because if I solely practice with a PowerPoint and then I get to an engagement, even if the PowerPoint works, but the audience, it just doesn't match the level of attendance, I have to learn to shift.
Sure.
And a lot of speakers, they make the mistake of standing behind a lectern, or they stick to one side of the stage. I don't care how high the stage is, an audience of less than 400 people, I'm going to walk into the audience. Right? And then learning how to throw your voice, learning microphone placement.
Sure.
There's just all these things that people, out of nerves, they'll get to the stage, get to the mic, and they'll leave it right here. And they will squeak, like you see their knuckles turn white, and then their lips get dry. If your lips get dry, right before you go on stage, take chapstick and put it on your teeth. It stops your lips from sticking. Right, you wouldn't know.
Interesting tip as well. Yeah.
I mean, I am a coach, so in speaking,
right. Yeah.
I would hope you don't know all of these tips and tricks. But yeah, it's and it stems from I think if a speaker, no matter what their content is, can go to like junior high or elementary school, or maybe you go to a church, you can speak to a children's church. Find an audience that doesn't know that you don't know what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can keep their attention, you'll win adults over every single time.
Doing good. Interesting. Yeah. Well, I think that kind of sums it up for what we're going to go through today. So hopefully you'll be back on for more shows later on. But thank you very much for joining us today. Make sure whatever platform you're on, you both like and subscribe. And see us for the next edition of Here's Why, brought to you by Why Not Results.